All right, so apparently Andrew Tate has done an interview with the BBC, and this is like his first official interview off of house arrest. And I kind of wanted to just react to it, check it out to see what the hell happened, because I know that one dude went over and tried to get the interview, and and Andrew Tate basically fucking told him to fuck off. But yeah, I kind of want to just watch the interview, see what he says, see what they do, and check everything out. All right, let's check it out.
So guys, Andrew's just released a new interview with the BBC. If you want to join the real world, we have...
The BBC has been begging Andrew Tate for an interview for the last 6 months, begging. They sent a list of sanitized questions and promised a fair and balanced interview. Tate finally agreed to their begging, and they ignored all of their promised questions and attempted a hit job. This is what happened. Oh,
have a link in the description.
God. Let's see what this is all about.
Andrew Tate.
Hello.
You've agreed to do an interview with the BBC today.
Yep.
The material is going to be published on television, on radio, online.
Perfect.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on you.
Are they doing it from... Where are they doing this at? Is this house or like an office or some shit? Or is he still on house arrest? I don't even
Young
know.
people or women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have. I would argue that a lot of the things that are already out there inside of the legacy media and the matrix as a whole are far more damaging than the things I say.
It's the concern about the influence you have being a harmful influence, but let's start with the allegations.
Not necessarily a harmful influence. The fact that I'm massively influential over the youth, and I understand that, but it's my influence as a whole which people are afraid of, not necessarily the things I say.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you
Okay,
haven't-
so I've kind of watched a couple videos of like people reading like body language and stuff. So usually when people are trying to deny something or say no, I might fuck this up, but usually when people are like lying and they're saying they didn't do something, but they did do something, they go, no. Like their body's basically saying yes. And right here, he's basically
Trafficked
nodding
anybody?
no.
Absolutely not.
Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for
Absolutely
money?
not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. Firstly, let's begin let's start at the beginning.
He said no, but I heard him say that shit. I know for a fact I heard him say that shit. He said he manipulates women, gets them to fall in love with him, and then they do like the cam thing. I don't know. Let's see what he said.
I'm facing charges. The first one you mentioned, the rape one's already been thrown out by a judge because there's no evidence of it. Secondly, it's very difficult for me to sit here and have a very frank and honest conversation.
Look at the lady's
while we're
face.
in this
Like, motherfucker, you better not be lying.
territory of Romania about a legal case that's going on within Romania. I have to protect myself. I've agreed to do an interview with you, and I want to be as honest with you as possible. But I can't incriminate myself in any way, and I have to be very careful with what I talk about.
There are no charges yet.
Correct. There
A
are no
judge
charges.
has said that
There are
more
no charges,
evidence must
and I've agreed to speak to you, but I have to be as honest and frank as I can while also protecting myself and following my legal counsel.
So let's talk about what you've said yourself then. You have said on the website for your original website for the Hustlers University that you emotionally manipulated women to fall in love with you so that you could get them working in the
definitely
sex
said that.
industry for your financial gain.
As I said, I have to be very careful with what I say, but let's put it this way. No women are coming out against me and accusing me of doing it.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Who?
There's testimony from the current investigation.
The current investigation,
other
which I
women
cannot
who've
discuss,
spoken.
which I know intimately and you don't, I can tell you right now that the women who are in this case file, there are 2 American women who have been caught already admitting they're lying, and then nobody else is accusing me of anything.
To begin with, it's very common in cases like this that the alleged victims do not always see themselves as victims.
Well, that's very interesting. It's actually extremely interesting because if I was a matrix-controlled organization and my goal was to slander somebody and try and destroy their name, you're telling me that they've chosen a crime which, one, is heinous, of course, because it damages the person's credibility, and two, you're saying that even if everyone else involved, if you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, or we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from...
Wait, what?
Involved. If you have 5 people and everyone's sitting there saying, no, nobody's hurt anybody, we like Andrew, we've all worked together, or we're friends, etc.
That's not what everybody's saying.
No.
Let me read you some of the testimony from the current investigation.
Can I finish, please?
One of the witnesses said...
Can I finish, please?
You're not answering the question I've asked you. You're not answering the question I've asked you.
I am answering the question. You're
Let
saying,
me read you the testimony of one of the witnesses.
You're saying the people who are involved in this, even if they say they're not victims, that they're still going to try and attack me and pretend they're victims.
Treated as victims by the case that's ongoing. And not all of them are saying that. One of the witnesses says...
We can't go into the case.
I mean, yeah, I understand she's trying to get some shit out of him, but if it's an ongoing case, there's just certain things he's not going to be able to say. So I don't get what she's trying to get him to say. To be honest. Listen.
The case is open and active.
Well, let's just be clear that not all of the witnesses in the case are behaving in the way you describe. And even those that are, it doesn't bar them from being treated as victims by the prosecution by the case.
We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't.
No
I've seen all
shit.
the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely not really, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated, and I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system, and I'm not going to incriminate myself because you're trying to prod me. You are wrong, and we're going to have to accept that for now and ask.
This guy's a really good talker. He's a really good talker, and he sounds pretty confident that he didn't do shit, so I don't know. I also haven't even been looking into this investigation or like what anybody has said really, so I don't fucking know. I'm just...
And talk about something else.
Let me read you then what you
Who the
have
fuck
said
am I?
about
Sure.
what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think that's...
No. He definitely said that shit. I remember. I don't know if it was on video, but he did say some shit like that. Make make the girls fall in love with him, and then gets them into the webcam industry, and then they'll basically... But he said that he gives them like 50% or like 50-50. I don't fucking know.
That's no, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it. And again,
no, my boy.
Once again, if any female on the planet has a problem with me, I strongly recommend her to go to the police and try and pursue me for criminal charges. It's actually very interesting that me, one of the most famous people in the world, who's been vilified by the legacy media and places all over the internet, while everyone has attacked me from every single angle, while federal agencies from multiple countries have called over 2,000 women who know me, we stand here with 0 new accusations since my arrest. 0. If you took any famous person, any man of substantial wealth, and you called 2,000 women who knew him, you'd find an ex-girlfriend is upset, somebody who wants money who's upset. They called 2,000 people who knew me and could not find a single woman to make a new complaint. The only complaints they have against me are the initial complaints, which we can prove are lies, and that's where it stands. So I'm not going to sit here and allow you to pretend that I'm some kind of evil predator, when actually I'd argue the fact that people who've been investigated to the level I've been investigated to, if you were to take the average man on the street and investigate his entire life for 14 months, call everyone who's ever known him.
Yeah, if I got investigated, I'd be fucked. I'm just kidding. But I mean,
and
he has a
vilify him
point.
in
He has a
media
point.
and encourage people to come forward for money, and you try to contact every
You
ex-girlfriend
think
that's ever had.
would come forward and accuse those people of rape and accuse those
I
people
think that
of
you would have a lot more.
manipulation?
I think you would have a lot more flack than I've got. I'm actually such a nice person that
The
I've never had
BBC
anyone
has
come
spoken
at.
to somebody since your arrest who says exactly those
I'm
things.
such
But
a
with you,
nice
it's all
person.
manipulation. There's an ulterior
Is this
motive
Sophie?
to everything
Is this
you've
Sophie?
done.
Oh, it's Sophie. The
Who is
fake
this?
name, no face,
I was so
the story
intent
that
on
was
wanting
invented.
to please him and wanting him to be happy that I was just kind of, yeah, okay, do whatever you want.
And what is she
That's
accused? Has
coercion.
she accused me of a crime? This imaginary Sophie?
She's making the point that there is
Has she accused me of a crime?
emotional or psychological manipulation.
I've asked you a question, and I've allowed you into my house.
I'm asking you a question.
Correct.
Yeah,
You're
it's
not the boss
asked.
here, because I've allowed you into my house
I'm asking you the question.
correctly, and I'm telling you.
You get to decide the answers.
No, we're equal here. I've allowed you into my house. You don't come here with a position of authority. I'm doing you the favor as legacy media, giving you relevance by speaking to you. And I'm telling you now, this Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The
and
BBC did not invent
Of
her.
course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges.
Oh, wait, what?
This Sophie, which the BBC has invented, which there's no face of, nobody knows who she is.
The
and
BBC did not invent
Of
her.
course not. And because you never invent anything. And she's not filed criminal charges against me. What are we talking about here? What is she
We're talking
saying?
about emotional manipulation
Has she-
into the sex industry for your financial gain.
Absolute garbage. She has not filed criminal. This person, if they exist, has not filed criminal charges against me. I welcome anybody who believes I've harmed them, male or female.
So he's
Any-
saying that there's this woman named Sophie that's came and wants to remain anonymous, but he's saying Sophie because they probably just made it up. Is that what I'm
Has
getting
filed
from
criminal
him?
charges against me, I will fight them. I know who I am, and I know what I've done, and I know the truth, and I know that I'll be found innocent of this attack. The reason I'm being attacked is because of my massive influence, not because I've ever hurt anybody. And for you to sit here and say that everybody around you is saying you're innocent, but that doesn't matter because the state will say they're victims, and they're just going to grab everybody you know and call everybody victims, even if they say they're not, and try and put you in jail. You are describing a matrix.
Let me sit
attack.
back
You're
for
not
this shit.
describing human trafficking.
I'm describing women who are going to court to accuse you of rape and human trafficking.
We
and
will see what women
excuse
go.
me, can I
We will
finish,
see
please?
what women go to court at
Can
the
I
end of this
finish,
trial.
please?
We'll see which women go
Can
to
I
court.
finish, please?
We'll see which women go to court.
I'm describing women who are
She's
going
getting
to court
kinda
to accuse you
irritated.
of rape and human
Sophie
trafficking.
hasn't gone to court. Sophie doesn't
and
exist.
I'm describing women who have spoken to the BBC at length
Sophie doesn't exist.
and other media organisations about what they say is emotional manipulation and coercion. And I'm quoting back to you your own words where you describe
They're not my words.
coercion
They're words
and
you
emotional
found. They're
manipulation.
words you found on the internet, and Sophie doesn't exist.
On
So
your
let's move on to
website,
the next
in
subject.
your voice.
Move on to the next subject.
No, I think I'll stick on this one for a minute. So there's other places in that same website where you say you get girls to fall in love with you and they do it because they love you, because they want to do what you say. Convincing women to take part in some kind of business arrangement doesn't work long term because they're emotional. You've got to get them to fall in love with you.
Once
That's
again,
coercion, that's emotional manipulation, that's abuse.
what you've found are
Is that illegal to do that? Like, is that illegal? Or is that just fucked up? That just make him a piece of shit.
clips from the internet, some text from the internet, and you're going to sit here and tell me that that's the reason I should be put
Your
in jail.
website, your words.
It's not my website.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken
No
down.
website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments, website, your words.
It's not my website.
That's not my
No,
website.
it's not. Check my website. Next.
It's the website you've taken down, and I wonder why those comments have been taken
No
down.
website's been taken down. My website is the same. It's been the same for a very long time.
The comments
It's not my website. My website is still up. I don't understand.
on this website, on the original website, have been taken down.
'Cause it
and I wonder
changed.
why.
It changed from Hustlers University to like something else, right? I'm guessing everything from that got taken down.
You're accusing me. I'm guessing what you're trying to say is you're accusing me, and you're trying to say that I'm guilty of the things I'm accused of, and I'm emotionally manipulating people.
I'm saying that you have said you emotionally manipulated people here for your own financial gain,
No, absolutely not.
and I'm asking you about that.
Absolutely not is the answer. I look forward to the end of this trial. I look forward to clearing my name. I look forward to the BBC and the legacy media having to say not guilty and having to tell the truth. As I've said before, the only other person who's been found, despite absolute rigorous, destructive levels of investigation and prodding into my life is this imaginary Sophie by the BBC who doesn't exist. And if you were to find any single other man on earth and try and analyze his life forensically to the level they've done mine, you would find genuine damage to people. I don't hurt people.
It's not just
Thousands of women have come out in my defense. Thousands of women have come out in my defense, and you've not mentioned that. Thousands of women come out in my defense.
Because the problem is when women accuse you of serious crimes.
I mean, even if you were nice to 1,000 women and you do something really fucked up to just one, it doesn't matter. That shit doesn't matter. But so I don't get that. But we're not gonna get any answers really from this. She's just gonna keep poking at him, and he's gonna keep denying everything. I'm not sure what they expected to do with this.
Okay, well, let's agree that thousands of women. Let's agree that
it's
thousands.
It's not the problem that some people say you haven't done it. It's a problem that some people say you have.
Thousands of women come out in my defense, and as we stand right now, we have an open criminal investigation. The people who are involved in the criminal investigation are saying that we're not victims of anything. Andrew's fine, he's never hurt us. You're saying, no, I have the opposite to that. I have to counter that. I have someone called Sophie with no face, a fake name, who we've invented, and she's not accusing you of anything criminal. So I don't see the whole point you're trying to make here.
You say you manipulate women, they say you manipulate women. Why wouldn't people think you do?
I'm not here. Do you think I'm manipulating you?
I'm asking you about the testimony you've given on your website and the testimony women have given
You've
about
printed
it.
something off.
What kind of answer was that, my guy?
And you're going to sit here and say that that makes me a bad person. And I'm saying that you should know better as a journalist and do some proper journalism. Let's investigate the fact that thousands...
I think you should answer my questions
I am.
properly.
I am. I already have, and we should move on. She's just trying to start an argument.
It's not only about the criminal allegations.
She's just a female. She does this shit.
You've got children's organisations in the UK, you've got rape organisations in the UK, you've got the police naming you by name as someone who has a harmful influence on children and on women in the UK and elsewhere because of the things you say, because of the way you present gender relations, the way you say men should treat women.
That's very upsetting. And the reason that's very upsetting is because I know that's not true. I'm genuinely a good person. I believe my impact on the world is positive. In fact, if you were to read the comment section of nearly any video I post, especially by the legacy media, 95% of the population agree with me. Most people know that the things I say are positive. Legacy media as a whole has lost all its credibility in the last 3 to 4 years. Nobody believes it. And it's a shame, it's a massive shame that the BBC come here and try and push and purport this idea that I'm a dangerous person. I'm anti-drugs. I've never pushed drugs or any I'm anti-drugs, I'm anti-violence. The UK is facing a knife crime epidemic, and they're going to sit here and say that I'm the most dangerous man in the UK.
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
Wait, what the fuck?
Man in the UK?
You have said you're the most dangerous man in the world.
I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
He must have not said that because he like immediately got disgusted. Like, bitch, when did I say that?
You've also said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner. I'm glad you find that funny.
I find it funny that you're sitting here saying that I've said I'm the most dangerous man in the world, and you believe that's... When did I say that?
I'm asking if you believe it.
No, you said you're the most dangerous man in the world. Is that some kind of proof that I'm dangerous? Am I Dr. Evil now? I'm telling you...
Wait, did not say that? Did she just pull it out of her ass? I thought she was gonna be like, you said that. And this one video, this and that, this and that.
That it's very upsetting that you're going to sit here and that certain organizations in the world are going to try and pretend that I'm the biggest force of evil on earth when I'm genuinely a force for good. I'm genuinely a force for good. And the reason they're doing this is because of the massive influence I have over the youth, and they don't like that I'm telling the youth to think outside of the matrix and ignore things like the BBC, which come here with loaded questions and false narratives and try and paint innocent people as guilty.
You've said women's intimate parts belong to their male partner.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away.
No, bro. I fuck with Andrew and I fuck with a lot of things he says, but he definitely said that. He said both of those things. He said, what did he say? He said something along the lines of like, if a bitch does OnlyFans, he's gonna take all the money because that's his woman and that's his body parts. Basically saying that her body's his. But he did also say whatever he was about to say about the marriage shit.
As guilty.
You said women's intimate parts belong to their male partner.
I said that if a woman marries a man, she takes his last name and traditionally the man gives her away. I've been pushing traditional religious beliefs, because I'm a religious man, and traditional beliefs in regards to marriage, which everybody accepted 10 to 15 years ago.
So
that's not a crazy conspiracy theory. If you're going to sit here and say that me believing a woman should take a man's last name in marriage makes me the most dangerous man in the world, then you're just going to lose
That's not what she
more
said, though.
credibility than the BBC's already lost in the last 4 to 5 years. If that's your point, if that's your narrative you want to
also
push,
say that
good
men
luck.
should be able to sleep with a lot of women outside marriage. That doesn't sound very religious or
That's,
very conservative.
that's not what I said they should be able to. I said a lot of high-value men, a lot of rich men do it. And then we discussed at length on podcasts why rich men do it. And we also discussed why women decide to be unfaithful. It's not a gendered argument. We discussed unfaithfulness as a whole. What are the reasons and motivations for men, and what are the reasons and motivations for women? Because you have no time to actually, watch my content, because you have no time to actually watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying, you just come here with a small snippet which has been provided to you on a piece of paper.
Saying it 3 times doesn't make it true.
No, completely. You don't have a clue what I say or what I talk about. You never watch my content. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable.
You said that, not me.
Okay. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your questions.
Well then we need to change the dynamic of this interview because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not the police. I don't respect the BBC. I don't know you. You do not come here with a position of authority over me. We are equals. We are people. We're citizens of the world, and we sit here as equals. And I see you as my equal, and if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're the Gestapo and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous because I don't owe you anything.
Asking questions and you
Bitch.
answer.
But I don't owe, no,
however you want.
this is a conversation, and I don't owe you any degree of authority over me. So let's make that clear. And that doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or from the BBC or the CNN. I'm here to answer your questions and be honest with you and do you a favor.
Great.
And I'm doing you a favor. But you come here with loaded questions. You're trying to paint a narrative of me which is negative.
I'm asking you
And
about
that's
things
fine.
you said
Negative.
that people are concerned about.
And that's fine.
You
But you're
have
not
said
going to sit here and say
a
you don't answer my questions because you're not above me.
This is also not supposed to be a third degree, it's supposed to be a conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, it would help if you answered the question.
I've answered every question so far.
Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
You have said that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner, and if she goes on OnlyFans, he is entitled to a cut of her income.
Yeah.
You are extremely, it's very confusing to me why you're going to sit here, take long format podcasts I've done, which are 3 or 4 hours long, in context where I've sat with OnlyFans girls, 10 or 15 OnlyFans girls, where we've been joking back and forth, ignore every comment and satirical comment and sarcastic comment that the females have made, and then come along and say, you said this, and that, and you're the
Oh, he's
most evil
talking
man in the
about
world.
Fresh and Fit. He's saying that he said that on Fresh and Fit. But I'm pretty sure he said that on that what video was that? Where he like on a date with a girl. And I think she asked him like, "What do you care if I did OnlyFans?" He was like, "No, I don't really care, as long as you give me all the money." I'm pretty sure he believes in that. But now he's saying that he was taken out of context. I don't know, man.
I don't know if you understand what sarcasm
Did you
is.
say it?
I don't know if you understand what sarcasm is. I don't know if you understand what context is. I don't know if you understand what satirical
So you're saying
comments
it was
are.
sarcastic?
I'm saying it was a very interesting talk show. And for you to sit here and say that that is my true core beliefs and that makes me a
Is
bad
it?
person is disingenuous.
Is it?
Of course not.
Was it sarcasm?
Absolutely. You should watch the show.
Why didn't he just say that? He just saying I'm fucking around. 'Cause I get some of the shit he says, he only says it to be funny. Or like to just fuck around and get people mad. But like, why doesn't he just say that? Instead of trying to give us every time he has to explain an answer of his, he always has to give like a long ass speech. It's like, bro, I get it. I get why he said certain things, but he'd be like, well, I said this and this and this, and the reason why I said this is because of this and this and this. And it's like, bro, just say you were fucking playing, bro.
Sarcastic
You should-
when you said. Let me
You
just
should,
clarify.
you should
okay?
watch the show.
Let me clarify for the audience. You were being sarcastic when you said a woman's intimate parts belong to her male partner.
No.
You didn't believe that.
No, it's not that. It's that you haven't watched the show at length, and you should have, because the woman was saying, my man's car belongs to me because he's my man. and she was on OnlyFans. And then 20 minutes later, when she said she was on OnlyFans, I said, well, you're selling your body, that belongs to him because he's your man. And she laughed, and she said, ha ha, yeah, that's probably true. If you watch the show, it will make sense. For you to come here with doing no research at all, and then say, I don't understand what I'm talking about, but I've got this piece of paper with a few things printed off, that's why you're saying the silly things you're saying. You should watch the show, do some research.
Do you believe it?
You already answered.
I've already answered the question.
Not really.
Of course I have. Can we move on? I've answered the question.
Do you believe that a woman's intimate parts belong to her male?
Yeah, she is kind of asking the same questions over and over again. She's already gone like this. Do you believe it, though? Do you believe it, though? And he's already said, no, I was being sarcastic. But he gives these long-ass answers, which is why, like, she won't accept them. They just want him to be like, no, didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. But I guess that's his PR team or his team or whatever. But they're just like, bitch, he answered the question already.
Of course not. I've just answered the question.
You just answered that. You said exactly that.
We've done that 3 times.
And does this woman believe that her man's car belongs to her? It's not a gendered argument. I really think that it's genuinely sad that when the BBC has a chance to finally interview me at the end of all this Matrix attack, that they don't come here with any kind of genuine openness to try and understand my influence over the world, or the things I push, or what I'm trying to teach the world, or why I'm a good influence on the world, because I am a massively good influence. Instead, they come here with pieces of paper, with printed out excerpts from 5-year-old podcasts, taken out of context, to attempt the same Matrix attack on me, which has been attempted endlessly. Every single person in Legacy Media has already tried this, and it doesn't work. I really encourage you to read the comment section on YouTube when this goes on YouTube, and you will see that nobody believes a word you're saying.
The reason I'm asking you about these comments is because we've got the chief
I'm gonna have to take a look at these comments.
It's naming you individually as spreading a dangerous ideology of misogynistic rape culture.
Absolute.
It's the comments you make that are leading people to say things like
absolute
this.
Garbage.
National organisations who are saying that are blaming you for increasing levels of misogyny. Schools that are saying they are having increased incidents of girls being attacked, of female teachers being harassed.
If that was
by
true,
pupils,
because
of you and your teaching,
well, that's absolute garbage. I have never, ever encouraged a student to attack a teacher, male or female, ever. I preach hard work, discipline. I'm an athlete. I preach anti-drug. I preach religion. I preach no alcohol. I preach no knife crime. Every single problem with modern society, I'm against. I'm teaching young men to be disciplined, to be diligent, to listen, to train, to work hard, to be exactly like me, with no criminal record, never even yet charged in this 14-month Matrix investigation. And I'm saying that if men grew up like me, which are hardworking and diligent and some emotional control and stoic, we're going to have a better society, not a worse society. To sit here and say that schools in England, which is a failing nation, which has knife crime going through the roof, violence going through the roof, men's mental health going through the roof, and they're going to all blame me because I appeared on the internet 1 year ago, is disingenuous. It's disingenuous. And also,
financial success.
He's got a good point there.
Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with
What the fuck did she just say?
It's disingenuous. And also,
financial success
correct.
with a Bugatti and a cigar, but it comes with a side order of misogyny.
How does having a Bugatti and a cigar come with misogyny?
Because it's all mixed together in what you teach. You teach that if a woman comes home and accuses you of cheating, you should hit her with a machete, shove her off.
Is that what I teach?
That's what you say.
No, if you actually watch the clip, it will be about the woman attacking me with a machete. As usual, you've not watched the video, taken out of context.
I don't think I've ever seen that video.
To attack me with a small excerpt. Let me tell you something, Lucy. I'm sure you're a very nice person. I'm sure you're a fantastic person, but if I were to take everything you've ever said online and just take small excerpts out of context, I could make you look like a misogynist. I guarantee it. In fact, I might actually do that. And then you're going to sit here and say, oh shit, I'm a misogynist because my clips have been taken out of context. If you refuse to watch anything at length and understand it, then that's what's going to happen.
The National Police Chiefs League for Violence Against Women, the NSPCC, Rape Crisis, Safer Schools, they are all naming you as being behind an epidemic of misogyny, even amongst primary school children.
The idea that I made primary school children misogynistic because I own a nice car. Is that your argument?
It's the misogyny that comes along with it.
Oh, owning a nice car is misogynist.
No, it's the misogyny that comes along with it.
How does misogyny come along with owning a nice car?
because you have an image of financial
I'm glad you're
success.
answering my questions now. We finally got the dynamic.
You have an image of financial
answer my
success.
questions, as she should.
Excuse me. You have an image of financial success, but it comes along with an image of financial
I'm glad you're
success.
answering my questions now. We finally got the dynamic.
You have an image of financial
She's answering my
success.
questions, as she should.
Excuse me. You have an image of financial success, but it comes along with attitudes towards women that are really problematic.
My attitudes towards women is that women should be protected and provided for, and I've said that at length. In fact, I've said that over 50 times online, you never mention it. I say that my girlfriend doesn't have to work unless she wants to, I take care of her, I die to protect a woman. I've talked about how I've stood up and faced a knife to protect a woman.
And in return, you want authority over her in the way you have over a child or a dog.
Absolutely not. I've said that women should be protected and provided for. And
in return, you want authority over her, because if you have responsibility for
Oh,
someone
here we
like
go,
a
this
child
authority
or a dog,
shit
you
again.
say, you have authority over them.
if you want to go down this argument, we'll go down this new
All right,
argument.
listen. So, yes, if some shit goes down and I'm the one that's gonna have to deal with it, then I'm gonna be the one that makes the decisions to lead the woman I'm with to a safer direction. If we're supposed to go, what am I saying? If we're supposed to go somewhere, and my girlfriend tells me, "Oh, let's take this shortcut," but it's a very dangerous shortcut, I would tell her, "No, let's go the long way because it's safer." I would have the authority to veto whatever the fuck she says and be like, "No, we're not doing that, because if we take the shortcut and we get attacked, I'm the one that's gonna have to deal with it." So yeah, that makes sense. When he starts doing the comparisons, that's when they start taking them out of context. They'll be like, "Oh, you're comparing a woman to a car and a dog and a child." It was like, I don't get the fucking point.
I said that
I'm
if
with
I
him with
have
that.
responsibility for her safety, I should have a degree of authority over her safety. Meaning, and let me explain my point. If I'm the one who has to fight and die to protect her, I'm the one who decides how we walk home. I'm the one who decides the route we take. Because it's unfair for her to say, "I want to walk through the most dangerous neighborhood in the world, but you have to face the knives." That's what I've said. And then you're going to sit here and pretend I'm trying to treat women
Exactly,
like
bro.
dogs, which is garbage. Every single man in the world who loves his woman understands that he has to protect her. And every single woman in the world likes the idea of a man who would protect her. If you were to say to most women home right now, "Do you want your husband to protect you in a violent attack?" they'd say, "Yeah, of course." Nothing I've said is
If you said to
misogynistic.
most women, would you want to lose authority in the relationship, to not be treated as a free and legal equal to your partner?
I didn't say that. I said I need to have authority over the route we walk home.
When you compare women and the authority over women that you believe you should have to having authority over a child or a dog, it's not the same, because a woman is a free legal adult.
Correct.
You're equal.
Free, legal adult, my equal. But if I had a girlfriend and we were walking home late at night and I said, "Let's not walk down that area, it's a bad area, I have to protect you if anything happens, I want to take the long way," and she said, "No, I have to walk this way, even though it's the most dangerous route, I must,"
Then what?
And then I would say, "You're welcome to, you could do it."
That's what I just said, bro.
You're a free and legal equal,
Trying to be
but
like
I'm
me
not
and
going to
shit.
walk with you and protect you. I think that I should be able to decide the route because I have an obligation. And my obligation as a man is to protect and provide for females. Everything I'm talking about is traditional gender roles, which 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago, would not be considered outlandish, would not be considered crazy, would not be considered dangerous or misogynistic. The world has changed, and a lot of people haven't changed with the world. Please understand there's a lot of women at home watching this right now who like the idea of their man sticking up for them, protecting them, and providing for them. And just because the world has gone crazy and the legacy media has gone crazy, most people at home are still relatively sane. And these are the people who are going to write.
This world is fucked up. He's right about that. This I don't know what the fuck is going on.
In the comments that Andrew isn't saying
There's a
anything that's
difference
outlandish.
between
It's the whole world believes these things.
What are they doing?
They come in, they smile, they shake their hands, and then they read one funny line excerpts from Black Hole.
It's fine. It's fine.
It goes like that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Are they coaching her
I'm
on
having a
what to
nice
say?
conversation with you, so I'm enjoying it. So it's no problem. It's been fun so far.
These people are on camera all the time.
Can she fucking smile at least? God damn. It just has a permanent.
We good?
Yes.
Tell me when.
Do you want to clap again?
Yes, no. We didn't stop, no?
I can do the clap. Now we good?
No. Thank you. Thanks.
If a man broke into your house, wouldn't you want your husband to protect you?
There's a difference between conservative values and emotional control, coercive control.
We're
lack
talking
of
about
consent.
protection now, and I'm saying if someone broke into your house, would you want your husband to protect you?
It's not about conservative values or protection, it's what you're demanding in return.
Answer the
Well, I'll give
fucking
you this.
question.
I don't know who your husband is. I don't know if he would stand up to protect you or die for you, but I'll give you this. If someone broke into this house right now and was a homicidal maniac, I would expect me and the other men in this room to stand up and face them while you and the other women in this room could protect yourselves. I would actually believe the men should go and engage the attacker. I believe that. And even though I don't know you, and you've come into my house with a hostile agenda, and you've come here to try and make me look bad, I would still stand up to protect you. I would still stand up to protect you because I believe that's my role as a man.
I am asking you about things that you have said that have caused major national organisations, including the police, to worry about you by name. That's what I'm asking you about.
It's not what I say.
It's not about whether you protect your partner.
No, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He needs to get rid of that fucking hair, bro. That should look like some black girl coochie hair or some
That
shit.
has caused
I don't
such
know what that
concern in
is.
the UK, and I want to put it to you that you don't really care about the harm it causes.
That's not true.
Because
That's not true.
making controversial
Unless he's
statements
putting some
like
shit
this
in it.
online has made you a lot of money.
Okay, so first thing, I genuinely am a force for good in the world. You may not understand that yet, but you will eventually. And I genuinely believe I'm acting under the instruction of God to do good things, and I want to make the world a better place. I genuinely believe my legacy is a good legacy, and I believe that eventually, when the legacy media catches up, they're going to understand I'm a good, positive influence. I'm not interested in damaging the world for money, because if I was interested in damaging the world for money, I could have sold drugs, or I could make rap music and encourage everyone to stab each other like all the drill artists do.
Or you could make controversial statements online that attract a lot of followers who you then direct to your website where they pay
I could make
to
jokes.
learn how to be
Sure,
like you.
I mean, I could make jokes online. Who doesn't? I mean, I could make a joke
Are you
online.
saying that all the controversial things you've said are jokes?
No, I'm saying that these organizations and the BBC who are going to sit here and pretend that I am the face of damaging the youth is absolutely garbage. It's completely disingenuous.
It makes you
And the
money.
reason
I'm sorry, we have agreed to do an interview where you are going to ask questions that are going to give us the opportunity to clarify some things. These are very loaded questions, and so far, I'm sorry, I have arranged this and I'm talking right now. So, these are very loaded questions, and this is not what we discussed, and this is not the conversation that we agreed to.
We were very clear that the questions
You're sitting there and just accusing, we're not here to face new allegations, this has all been discussed, answers have been provided, so if we could please move on from this side of the interview.
I had to check her
I
ass
would
real
appreciate
quick.
it.
I would like to hear what Andrew's got to say about the fact that when you make controversial statements, it attracts people to follow you, and then you direct them to your website where they pay you a monthly fee to learn how to be like you. And so the more controversial statements you make, the more money you get.
the fact that that's the path you've outlined to one, my online university, and two, my presence on the internet. The fact that you believe that's the path just shows you've done absolutely zero research. Genuinely zero research.
Okay, so how many of the people who sign up for Hustlers University come to you through your social media?
Genuinely zero research.
How many of the people who sign up for Hustlers University come to you through your social media where you direct them to the website?
And Lucy, I encourage you to go out there, do some genuine research, watch my
Could you
videos,
answer my
of
question?
course, watch my videos at length, and truly understand what I'm doing.
How many of the people who sign up for Hustlers University at $49.99 a month come to you
This is like the fourth time she asked this
your
fucking
social
question.
media comments?
There's an online school called Hustlers University, which I don't own. I influence for, along with many other influencers, and they sign up for your website, which I don't own. And once again,
Wait, he doesn't own it? I thought he said on the Your Mom's House podcast that he has his own university. Was that a lie, Andrew?
Once again, that's nothing to do with me. And you're going to sit here and say that I made a joke.
You were the
I made a joke online 4 years ago because a woman said that she owned her man's car, and you made a joke, and that means that you, because you have a Bugatti, are the most misogynistic, dangerous man in the world. This is going down a path of absolute insanity. It's not true. None of this is true. I don't hurt people. I don't harm people. I'm genuinely a positive influence.
You are renowned.
I'm renowned
For offensive and controversial.
That's not why I'm renowned.
comments
I'm
about
actually
gay
renowned.
relations.
I'm actually renowned for helping young men, because we talk about there's a men's mental health crisis, and we talk about we pretend to care that men are upset. But as soon as I discuss men's issues, it's misogynistic. It doesn't have to be gendered. Just because I believe men have a point of view and men have rights and men are allowed to think and believe and act a certain way that helps them internally, that doesn't mean it's anti-female. In fact, I believe it's actually pro-female. I think when a man is true to his influence and true to his essence, and he's good within himself, he's a positive influence in the world, and he's positive for the women around him.
So
just
why
because
are
I
so
discuss
many
men's
women-
issues, people say, oh, you're anti-woman. I'm not anti-woman, I love women.
Why are so many women saying that when their boyfriends start following you,
They're not.
they experience more control?
So many.
They experience
How many?
more abuse?
How many?
Enough.
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 Well, it's the first time I've heard of it. So, in fact,
One is too many.
oh, of course, yeah. So, in fact, I've seen.
I kind of blacked out
He's
for a
positive for the
second.
women around him.
So
Just
why
because
are
I
so
discuss
many
men's
women-
issues, people say, oh, you're anti-woman. I'm not anti-woman, I love women.
Why are so many women saying that when their boyfriends start following you,
They're not.
they experience more control?
So many.
They experience
How many?
more abuse?
How many?
Enough.
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 Well, it's the first time I've heard of it. So, in fact,
One is too many.
oh,
Well, that's the thing with the fucking internet. Anything can be taken out of context and like taken in the wrong way. Somebody can be preaching about something very trying to improve people's lives, and people will flip it and be like, "Oh, well, I listened to this," and then they interpret it their own way, and then they end up turning it into a bad thing. So I don't think that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
of course, yeah. So, in fact, I've seen thousands and thousands of comments and have endless emails from women praising
Doesn't
the
it
fact,
worry you?
praising the fact that their sons are listening to me,
Does it not
praising
worry
the
you?
fact that their
The things
husbands.
I'm saying, does it not worry you?
It would worry. It would
You're
worry.
not concerned about
It
your
would.
influence.
It would worry me if I was genuinely damaging the world. But for you to sit here and say, Andrew, you've become the most Googled man in the world. You have billions of views, and one woman, is now saying that her husband is
I
not
have
the same man she
presented
wants him to
you.
be. When thousands and thousands of people are saying the opposite, well, then I would say
I
that that's.
presented you with case after case after case, with quote after quote after quote of people who are genuinely concerned about the impact you're having, and you brush it off as if it's nothing.
No, what you have done is come here with an agenda. You've come here with loaded questions. You've come here with things taken out of context. You come here with things that you don't understand are satirical. And then you're going to also sit and say that one woman said that her boyfriend changed when he watched one of your videos. And then I don't know what you expect me to say to that. That's
sarcastic and jokes.
No.
That's how you explain
No,
the comments you
no,
make.
for you to sit down
Would you
and
like to apologise for any of them?
for you to sit down and for you to sit down. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's easy. For you to sit down and say that one woman said that her boyfriend watched an Andrew Tate
What did they say? If you
and
don't,
now he won't do the dishes, or whatever your argument is, and that
Police.
I'm somehow the worst, most dangerous man in the world because I have a car. It's just disingenuous, and I'm enjoying this interview very much because this shows the world. It's great. It shows the world the truth about the legacy media because they beg me for interviews. They beg me. You have been begging me for months. Please, we need to be relevant. And then you come here with loaded questions trying to paint a picture of me, which is completely and utterly false. I am a good, positive influence for the world. The
She's
things
not
I
liking
teach
that
men
shit.
are stoicism, discipline, self-respect, hard work, obeying authority, listening to your fight coach, working hard in school, making as much money as possible in your job. If you actually watch the things I say, if you actually watch my comments about women, I've done long podcasts for hours long about females, talking about protecting for them, providing for them, how I believe a woman should be treated in a relationship. I've done all of this, but you don't watch any of it, and then you come here and ask me that, answer questions I've answered at length thousands of times.
Since you came out of custody, there seems to have been a lot about your charity work
Correct.
on your social
There's
media.
I've always done the charity work, but now I'm promoting
There
online.
seems to be a real shift.
Yeah.
I wonder what's behind that.
Well, I've always done the charity work. I've been doing the charity work for years. I believe that it's
Oh,
my legacy
she's trying to
be
say-
positive
he's trying to
influence in
save
the world.
face.
I've been doing charity work for over 5 years. Post
yeah,
my-
they are kind of. She's trying to get your boy. Trying to say ever since you got out of prison, for some reason you're posting a lot of charity shit now. I wonder why that. Wonder what's the reason behind that. But he has always said that he's done charity work. I don't know if it's true, but he's been saying that before he got locked up. Yeah, that's kind of a dirty question. Look at her eyes.
incarceration, my unfair, unjust incarceration, may I add. Post that, I've made it more clear the charity work I'm doing. But this is, again, once again, very interesting. I spend $25 million a year feeding children, men, male children, and female children. In Turkey, in Syria, in Iran, and Iraq, I literally spend $25 million a year feeding children. And I'm still the worst man in the world because 4 years ago I made a sarcastic comment?
Because some people would look at that and say, okay, so before you got money from attracting people to your website by making controversial comments, but that might have got you into trouble. And so now you're looking for a new market. You're looking for a new market of followers who are attracted by a different sort of persona.
I've always done the charity work, so that is obviously incorrect. And I have proof that I've always done the charity work, so you're wrong, firstly. I believe that if you have a lot of wealth, you should help people, and I'm helping people. I also think it's very, very interesting that you cannot find another celebrity in the UK or anywhere else who's spending £25 million a year feeding children in war-torn countries. I'm doing that, and I've been doing that for a long time without even mentioning it. I never even said it. And now that I've said it, people are going to attack me for it and say that it's disingenuous. The person in Sudan who's eating the meal, do you think they believe it's disingenuous? No, I think they feel pretty good that Andrew Tate fed them. And to sit here and say that I'm a bad person now because I'm manipulating charity, because I'm using charity, I'm just trying to do good in the world. That's all I've ever been trying to do.
When women speak out against you online, disagree with what you say, they describe being bombarded with rape threats, with death threats, trolling by your followers. Would you like to say anything to your followers about how to behave in that situation?
Absolutely, correct. I would love to do that. First things first, I've yet to see a female stand up and argue with me online. I don't ever see hardly any. Only women who message me agree with it. Secondly, I don't think that anybody who disagrees with me, male or female, should be trolled. I don't think they should be insulted or attacked. I think the ideas should be discussed openly and fairly and maturely. It doesn't matter if a man agrees with me or disagrees with me or a female. I don't think my followers should come along and attack her, and if my followers are doing that, I'm upset by that. But let's make a very important clarification. That's not my followers. That's the internet. If you were to log into any video game lobby, I don't play video games, and someone were to sit there and say something stupid, they would be trolled with similar comments. That's the unfortunate reality of the internet as a whole. That's nothing to do with me. But I encourage all of my followers to engage in open discourse and be fair and honest and talk in a way which is mature. There's no need to troll anybody, male or female.
Okay.
Kathy, anything?
A couple of things. I wonder if it would be worth giving Andrew one more opportunity to consider whether or not he would like to apologise or give an indication of how he feels about the allegations that he has negatively influenced young people in the UK. And secondly, I think we should put on record that this interview is taking place in your house because you're under house arrest. If it were not for that, then we would have chosen another location, I'm sure. We would have negotiated that between us. So I think that's just worth putting on record.
Okay.
Just going to aggress
just to put on the record then, you've said that you've invited us into your house.
Correct.
We're here because you're under house arrest.
Correct.
If you were free to leave, we would have negotiated a more neutral setting.
Don't you think, as the BBC, it would be very interesting to come here and discuss the fact that I was put in a dungeon for 92 days and then locked in house arrest without charge? Don't you think that's a far more interesting conversation than
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up.
You're here under house arrest because there's an ongoing investigation into rape and human trafficking allegations against you.
Correct. I've been incarcerated without charge. And don't you think
the rape allegation
it's been dropped?
Has been incarcerated for.
Correct. So I'm incarcerated without charge, and I think that would be a far more interesting conversation than I guess Julian Assange is incarcerated without charge, and nobody's interested in that either. So if you actually wanted to do some genuine journalism and investigation, we could talk about the fact that an innocent man who has yet to be charged with a crime has had his liberty deprived of him. And I think that would be a far more interesting angle than talking about me being the most dangerous man in the world because I own a car.
And this question about schools being very worried about your influence.
Yes.
Boys in primary school, or boys as young as 11 are quoting you at school, attacking girls, refusing to respect female teachers.
Yeah.
Would you like to say anything about that?
I'd like to say a lot. First things first, as I've repeatedly said, and the only reason I keep repeating it is because I'm sure this interview will be edited. I am a positive force for the world, and I teach children discipline. I teach the world discipline, male or female, of any age. And a lot of women listen to me as well. 40% of the people who listen to me are actually female. Secondly, I do understand with my massive influence, and I am now the one of the most influential people on the planet, that I do have to be slightly more careful with things I say. I'm not going to disagree with that. The idea that I said something 5 years ago on a video that got 300 views...
So what do you mean, being slightly more careful?
I'll give you an example. some of the jokes I made 4 or 5 years ago on a YouTube channel that got 300 views, I would no longer make.
Like what?
Like the OnlyFans joke, the one you mentioned repeatedly, when she said, "My man's car is my car." And then she said she did OnlyFans. And I said, "What do you sell on OnlyFans?" She said, "My tits." And I said, "Well, those are your man's tits." As a joke, ha ha ha, everybody laughed. The fact that I could do that on a podcast 5 years ago and only got 300 views, now I understand I'm the most influential man on the face of the planet. I would be more careful with certain things I say. That doesn't mean the things I originally said were genuinely out to harm.
Has my mic been in the way this whole time?
Influential man on the face of the planet.
I'm the most Googled person on the planet.
Do you believe you're the most influential man on the face?
Oh, it's almost over.
I'm the most Googled. That doesn't mean the things I originally said were genuinely out to harm people.
Do you really believe you're the most influential man on the face of the planet?
I'm the most Googled person on the planet.
Do you believe you're the most influential man on the face of the planet?
I'm the most Googled man on the planet.
I think we're done.
Yep.
He wants to hit her in her shit so bad. Look at his fucking knees, bro.
I think we're influential man on the face of the planet.
I'm the most Googled man on the planet.
I think we're done.
Yep.
Look at his face. He's like, bitch, I want to kick you in the head so hard.
Thanks, Lucy. It was enjoyable. Nice to meet you.
Not even a YouTube.
No, it was fun. It was good. I enjoyed it.
She seems so cold-hearted.
De-mic me. I don't want to damage anything. Thank you. Very nice to meet you. Thank you. Very nice to meet you. Goodbye. Very polite staff.
Finally, you get to see Andrew's side. Guys, comment your thoughts in the comment section. Please leave a like, subscribe, and do turn on notifications
So
on.
that was the full interview.
The people who are
Let's look at the comment section. Oh shit.
The material.
Let's see. I can't respect this man enough, and everybody tags him, and he can just defend himself against the BBC. What a man. Pray he stays safe. This interview's a masterpiece. It really shows that if you could walk on water, people would say it's because you can swim. Andrew Tate has helped me deal and get rid of depression, get rid of bad habits, believe in myself. We think Andrew's the greatest thing happened in our society. Oh, so it's... He has said a lot of bull. He did say a lot of shit that isn't true in this interview, but anybody that supports him, I don't think they have the balls to fucking say, call him out and be like, I don't think that's not true. I fuck with him. I fuck with him more than I don't. I mean, there's only a few things that I think he needs to change up, because he's a very loudmouth. He talks a lot, and I think he doesn't even realize sometimes some of the shit that he says. But yeah, that was very interesting. The fact that this full interview has more views than the one released on BBC is a big W. Yeah, is this not the BBC? Clearly not. BSN. 1 million views 13 hours ago. Oh, this is the one. I'm guessing this is someone who advocates for him. Join the real world. Yeah, this is like his shit. So he must have been recording with his own cameras in. How else would he have this footage? I don't fucking know. I don't know how interviews work. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure what they got out of this. I guess to prove the BBC's full of shit. I guess. I mean, as from what I'm seeing, from the comments, it looks like people. This is a big W for him. Andrew Tate motivated me to remove a toxic woman out of my life. I guess, my boy. It's hard to win an argument with a smart person, but it's damn near impossible to win an argument with a stupid person. We need to protect this legend. Yeah, all of these comments are pretty good. Nobody's saying a single thing about what he said. Her face at the end is pure devastation knowing she failed to make him look bad. 1 million views in 12 hours. Not a single negative comment. What does that say though? He clearly wasn't telling the complete truth on some of these answers. But then again, this channel is for that. Alright. I guess. I'll leave it at that. Alright.